Good evening. My name is Jay Smith, and I did my project on Northrop Grumman. Northrop Grumman Corporation is a global security company providing innovative systems, products, and solutions in autonomous systems, cyber, C4ISR, strike and logistics and modernization to customers worldwide. In addition, NGC is the fifth largest defense contractor in the United States and ranked number 118 on the Forbes 500 list of companies for 2018. Northrop Grumman is composed of four different sectors: aerospace systems, mission systems, technology services, and innovation systems, which basically all roll up to form one big company. Northrop Grumman's competitive strategy is to provide world-class products and technology at a fair price to their customers while maximizing their own internal profits. This is done by a variety of methods, and this paper will primarily focus on how Northrop Grumman uses its supply chain to achieve those goals, and we'll get to that shortly. But first, we're going to discuss the five forces outlined by Porter. The first was the threat of new entry. New entry is not that large of a threat for Northrop Grumman because of the business they're in. The defense industry is highly regulated, and it's very complex and technical, which are barriers to entry. So there's not a lot of inward momentum for the people to move into the defense industry. But the profits generally are pretty high, which is a motivator. And sometimes companies like SpaceX can, succeed in the, coming in and routing the diehards like Northrop Grumman and Lockheed Martin or Boeing. But that's a rarity. So for the most part, Northrop Grumman doesn't really have a lot of threats to entry. New entry. The next is the threat of substitutes. This is higher. Porter defines the threat of substitutes as a competitor who performs the same or similar function in an industry, but by different means. The defense industry is full of highly capable companies, like I said, Boeing, Northrop, Lockheed Martin, Rockwell Collins. They're all very capable, very similar in what they do, and consequently, the threat of substitutes is very real for Northrop Grumman because they can usually reverse engineer or develop a completely new product to usurp an NGC product. So the bargaining power of customers is also very high. The main customer is a government agency. They have the final say in just about everything because they're the government. In addition, there's trade embargoes and security issues that only allow American defense companies to sell to domestic organizations and friendly countries. So their pool of potential clients is limited. So you kind of have to do what they want you to do in order to maintain and keep business. And they also are under a lot of regulation and oversight to ensure that government dollars are spent properly. So there's a lot of transparency and regulation which affects the defense industry, which doesn't affect other outside companies. The suppliers are kind of in a similar thing. There's a lot of niche suppliers in the defense that support defense companies that, there's a lot of regulation to become a supplier due to security concerns. So usually there's one or two or three guys out there that can provide what you need, and they know that. So their prices are usually high, and you're often forced to pay them just because they know they have you in a tight spot. They have to be careful, though, because if they charge too much, then the company can usually develop that item internally and bypass that supplier. Competitive rivalry is very high, similar to the threat of substitutes. The companies out there are all very good. They're all very capable. They've been doing it for a long time. So they know, they're just as capable. The government knows that. So Northrop has to be very careful to ensure that, what they're selling is adequate and accurate so that, the contracts don't get awarded to a competitive company, or a competitive rival. Northrop Grumman's supply chain strategy. Northrop works in a difficult world because of, regulations and, one-offs associated with small contracts. So it's hard to often get economies of scale and use traditional supply chain strategies, for achieving, effectiveness and efficiencies. But Northrop has managed to basically turn a profit doing it, their own way. They centralize supply chain through their own organization called Global Supply Chain, which is then, further subdivided at the sector level. And the global supply chain personnel, they control everything from basically start to beginning. So quotes to purchasing to delivery, to ensure that everything is done timely and adequately and accurately. In addition, Northrop uses a variety of suppliers ranging from, other defense contractors to large parts houses and other traditional type suppliers to very small and underutilized businesses not typically used by major companies. They do this to diversify and to ensure that they have a constant source of supply. Overall, Northrop Grumman's competitive strategy and supply chain, they align. The defense industry is a unique industry. To be profitable in that industry is easier said than done. So Northrop consistently does that, and they please their investors, they please their customers, and they keep having suppliers sign up. So they must be doing something right to keep suppliers wanting to continue to do business. Often Northrop Grumman is sourcing hard to find, hazardous, complex parts or materials and assemblies for some of the world's most technologically advanced machinery and computer systems, which is not easy. So they do a good job and continue to grow the business and earn high profits. So hope you guys have enjoyed this presentation. Good luck with yours, and thank you for watching.